about my lifestyle. I'm the new thing with a bright smile. Catch me when I'm out in public, always show them love, and I know they love it. Give you a reason to love me this season. I'm taking my chances, I hope it enhances.
All right, welcome to Romera Records Podcast. Today we have on
me, Amber Russell.
Amber Russell. For those of you who've been paying attention, the second time we've had Amber on, so
yes.
Glad to have her back.
Yes.
Good to have some people in Memphis area, being able to speak to them and talk to them and find out what's going on. But so what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, I've been out to California a couple of times. Yep. I did a women's workshop event. So great. And it's funny. I just follow a bunch of people on Instagram, and they put a ad out saying, hey, we need people to come and just, be a part of our workshop. I said, yeah, why not? And so I didn't think I was actually going to get it being so far away. And they asked me to come in. So I got some sponsorships and I'm going to be there. And I figured out a way and I flew out there, and it was the most incredible thing I could have experienced for like an event happening last year. Just very... it was solely or predominantly based on women leadership, because I think even in our last conversation, we talked about just the differences between, females and males, and just how social and cultural differences, put on us. So it was nice to see that even like men participated and joined in these different women empowering business leader workshops. So I got to experience that. Made me feel so good in the sense that I had 8 people and more people wanted to come and join my group and come apart from the audience. So I talked about being a drop of honey. So Abraham Lincoln, love that man.
Lincoln, huh?
Yes, Abraham Lincoln. And so I have Lincoln leadership. And so he was just huge on just different entrepreneurial things. And of course, what he did for our history. And so, yeah, he talks in one of his speeches on if you are to convince man, you are his sincere friend, be a drop of honey. A drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. So it is with men. So if you're going to convince somebody of your just cause, it'll be easier to get them on your side because you have shown them that you're their true and genuine friend. Okay. So being a drop of honey, I taught these ladies about just different, I don't want to say personality things, but just in the sense of when you're being genuine, how do you feel genuine? How whenever people are talking to you and, you had that moment of, I felt heard, what does that feel for you? So a lot of that is active listening, body language, eye contact. We don't like to do that a whole lot, Yeah. And it's also asking questions. And it's not the sense of, hey, how are you doing today? It's getting down to the core. And so a lot of these women were actually business leaders. So they ran an organization or they had their own little shop. And so when I was telling them about different questions to ask, it was more in the sense of, what do you care about? Because what we talk about, it is what we care about. So what does that client care about? If they're going to be honing on a certain detail, that's probably something they want to write down, because then later on they can then set up a proposal and let them know, I noticed you talked about this thing. I made sure to include this, or I made sure to solve this problem. So it's asking those deep questions and active listening to actually understand and convince man, I'm your genuine friend. I'm your genuine business partner for the future. Yeah. So it was very nice.
That was good. Yeah, I've always thought about, like, if you ever want to get somebody to, be on your side or convince them or something, you should be able to relate to them. Because like when you can relate to somebody, they start thinking the same. Like you start having the same thoughts and the same reactions to things. So that's a very good point. I think that's what a lot of politicians will try to do. Like if they want you to vote for them, they'll try to start relating to you. Like I used to work in the fields just like all of you two, and it's like, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. And it's funny because Abraham Lincoln, he was one of the things that he was known for is having quote unquote open door policy. So anybody walked into his office and he never once turned them away. He listened to them. And so that's one of the key factors of him being the president, of the United States, was the fact of he allowed people to come inside and just talk. And of course, everyone's going to complain, and everyone's going to have their opinion. And he always had some sort of anecdote to relate to them to be able to win them over or give peace to their mind. And then next person came in. So I just thought that was very cool. The sense of, yeah, he related with them too.
Yeah. So when you went out there, like how'd that get all set up?
Oh, all right. So once I got the email saying, hey, I'm invited to go, I think I only had maybe 3 weeks,
Who
if
emailed
that.
you?
Huh?
Who emailed you?
Oh, she's called, or the organization is called the Women's Expo.
Okay.
And that's who posted the ad on Instagram. And I just, they gave me an email. So I just, sent in the questionnaire along with a few other details about myself. And then they chose me as one of the women leaders for their workshop. So it was like, that was really cool. So the Women's Expo, and I just went to work on finding sponsorship. So I use this software. I don't know if you've ever used it before. It's called Canva. So I went on Canva.
I think so.
It's really cool about making even Instagram posts, Facebook posts, different flyers. And so they had that section of flyers. So I found it. I found me a cool little one that I can, just like play around with. I got a photo of me, and then I just started thinking subconsciously and then of course out loud, who can I reach out to that A, fits with what I'm trying to do, and that B, would also like to take their business nationwide. Because if I just go with a more locally focused, like Memphis, there's got to be tourists, or they've got to have some type of website to be able to draw in that traffic, you know? If they want to stay local, well, then I'm not helping them. They're not helping me. So then I'll just buy from them locally or something. There's other ways to help people out like that. But yeah, so I started thinking about people. I found a couple, and they were able to sponsor me. So Miss Pat Pitchford, she is a Medicare. So she does like different insurance, health insurance. Very, very sweet woman. Love her to death. And she does Memphis, but then she also does different health insurance too, to be able to go nationwide. Okay. So then I was able to get with her on that. Jason Hall, he's the speaker's mechanic. And I did not even think about this, but when speakers, singers, or even professors, they use their voices a lot, it becomes strain, So he helps people how to get out of that strain, or how to practice, warming up your vocals. And don't have to be a singer, but just anybody who always does a lot of talking. Yeah. So then I was like, hey, can you help me? And so he was able to help me. And then I was able to go put my flyer together, put my sponsors on there, sent it out over to the Women's Expo, put it on my Instagram, Facebook, and vice versa for them too. And I was able to go.
So when you got over there, was it like an easy transition? Were you like kind of confused? Because was that the first time you've been to California?
No, actually, that was my second time. Yeah, that was my second time. Okay. And when I was flying over there, I was super, super nervous because I already did a speech here about it. Yeah. And I was thinking, and I watched my video from that previous engagement. And I thought, wow, you could have done a lot better. You did good, kiddo. You did good. So then I was, listening to it on the plane, and I had, God bless, I had this big old backpack, tons of books with me in this backpack. Wow. And I had my journals, just had all my old notes, and I'm just writing everything, and I'm visioning it in my mind, and then putting things away, and just doing all kinds of stuff. So I had papers everywhere on the plane. I had this big old bag with me, and flying into LA, I had to take a train because my cousin, she was former Navy. So she let me stay with her. She gave me some great encouragement. Nice. And she helped me tremendously with it. And then I get there, I'm super nervous still, I'm the only one in Tennessee. They had a few ladies come up from I think it's Oregon. Yeah, Oregon. But I think that's as far as they traveled, maybe one or two from Arizona. So I was the only one.
Oh, the rest were from California?
Yeah, everyone. I'm the only one, that's from the East Coast. And here I am, I don't know anybody. I'm just walking around, I'm just being confident like I usually am. but I'm super nervous. And so I walk in, and the first thing that I think, and I see the woman who runs the organization. Her name is Christina. See her. I said, "Hey, do you need help with anything? I don't know what to do. Like, do you need help with something?" She's like, "No. Your table's over here." Like, "Are you sure?" Like, I can help. I promise. And she said, "No, your table's right here." I said, "Okay." And so then networked with a few other ladies. Just amazing women to be able to step out of their comfort zone to help other women and men, and just being able to, I think just the biggest thing to see was they stepped out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And they followed something that they truly believe in, and that was helping others in financial, situations, or being a badass warrior of your mindset, or just living your best life in a healthy state with exercise and diet, just something that they're passionate about. And so it starts. And Christina goes, hey, you're going up on stage. So what? Like, yeah, you're going up on stage. Like, okay. And I bring my freaking Abraham Lincoln book with me because I don't know what's about to happen.
You start out with 407 years ago.
Right? Oh my gosh. I didn't know what was gonna do, what was gonna happen, if I was gonna give the presentation on stage, or what. But it was me and a few other women that I just networked with, and they started out asking just a few questions. And the MC, she was just saying, what advice can you give these people today? It's, if for your business, how did you get started? Just simple stuff like that, and help, get the audience going and getting the blood flowing for us too, because we're about to be speaking. And so we each handed off the microphone just one by one. It was super, super cool. And then everything started, and we were all together. So there was about 13 round tables, 8 at each table. So a lot of chattering going on. And then main speakers would come out later. And so they had a very nice itinerary for everybody. They had a performance that day. They had a section for the children. So mothers would bring their kids. So the kids would go off and play, B, they were actually performing later on that day. And then outside, they had all the women that were participating with the workshops, and then also vendors too, to be a part of that event. Okay. So it was super cool. They had this huge red carpet, the Women's Expo. So you got to sit there, take pictures. It was a lot of fun. They brought out a food truck, and it was just wonderful. I think they even had the fire department. I may remember that from somewhere else, but it would not surprise me. It really wouldn't. It was very big.
So how do you feel about that area? Because I went out to California to do an interview, and it was actually in Compton. So when I went there, I flew out of Memphis to Los Angeles, and then that's where I was staying in Hermosa Beach.
Oh, okay.
And from there, I just got to do whatever I wanted to So I got there late Monday night. Tuesday, I got to do whatever I wanted to do, and then Wednesday, I had my interview. So Tuesday, I drove around like all of Los Angeles. Like I went to USC football stadium.
Oh, nice.
And then I went to I think it's Universal Studios or something up there.
Yeah.
And then where else did I go? I just went all over the place. I went up toward Hollywood and all sorts of things. And then I drove to San Diego because my friend Buddy lives in San Diego, and I was like, this place is amazing.
It is. San Diego is so nice.
Yeah, I was like, it's so hard to go back home. But so how'd you like California itself, like that area?
I love it. Okay. So funny thing is, going on 3 years, okay? I used to run a business. I don't know. I told you that.
I don't think you did.
Okay, so guys, audience, I used to work for Vector Marketing, and I got promoted to being district manager. So when I graduated college about 3 years ago, they relocated me to Jonesboro. Okay. And that's how...
Arkansas?
Yes, Jonesboro, Arkansas, yes. And then I started, because my dream and my mindset is I want to be a millionaire one day. And so millionaires have multiple streams of income. So I'm doing a bunch of reading and just different motivational videos that my boss would send to all of us managers, every week as encouraging. And then we used to do team meetings, and we had to do the camaraderie and hype everyone up. So one day I was listening to one of those motivational speeches through YouTube, and Ty Lopez, his social media stuff came up. So I was like, oh, okay, like this might be a nice little extra stream of income. So then I really started enjoying it, and I got out of the business because I wanted to just figure out, like, what am I passionate about? What do I like of this world?
Yeah.
So then that was my first time going out to California. Flew out all by myself. Didn't know anybody, of course. I did the whole walking around thing. Well, you drove around. I walked around. So I got my place.
Wow.
And then I was right by the Hollywood Strip, and I was just...
So you went to LA?
Yes, I went to LA because that's where the conference was at. I got there a day early so I can be able to explore. I walked everywhere, walked up and down Hollywood, and then I took the train with the tap card.
Yeah.
That was cool. I went to Universal Studios. I just walked everywhere. I loved it. I loved the atmosphere, and it just felt like it was just calling me. I don't know. Like I don't know. I really appreciated it. I was born in Texas, so I grew up along the water anyways. So that was just a nice view, a different view. So then a couple years later, I ended up going back for this different speaking event. And then I went for another seminar. So I just feel as if my future career is just calling me to the West Coast, and then I met just so many great people that I still keep in contact, even from 3 years ago to this day. They'll call me, ask me for help, or can I just, help them out with this, or how am I doing, just like being the genuine, friendly person. And so I really liked it, but I walked everywhere and I didn't know anybody. And so I just like walked in places and just started talking to people.
Do you feel like, people are different over there? I personally feel like it's like a different world. Like people just, they think differently, they act differently.
Yes.
And so when you're like living in the South, a lot of Southern people, or not say living in the South, but when you grew up in the South, like a lot of Southern people are like, this is how things are supposed to be, and this is how things always will be. But people on the West Coast, specifically California, like that Southern California area, there's so many different kinds of people. It's like their culture is to not have a culture, if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Like in the South, it's like, this is the way things are. But over there, it's like, what are we supposed to do?
What's on today's agenda?
Yeah, exactly. They just do whatever the next wave is. They just do it. It's like they don't have a set path. They just go.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of Southern states, this is how it is, especially if you come from a big family name. I grew up in a small town in Arkansas where I graduated high school, and big names were just huge there. And you pretty much got a job if you kind of knew somebody, or you just you're just a really good person, or you just lived there, But if you knew someone in that name, then most definitely, then you got it, whatever that you wanted. So big names, this is how it is, or family traditions, if this is how it will always be, you of all people are not going to change it now. And you go out to California, everyone's chilled.
Yeah.
And food is healthier too. Like, really healthy. So I feel as if that might have a big factor to play in it.
For sure.
Because everybody's feeling good. People are conscious.
Yeah.
And more emotionally connected to you. They're relating to you in the sense of, I understand you want to follow your dream, or I understand you want to go on this path, or whatever. You can do that here. Yeah, you can do that here. And then when you're back home, or back in the southern states, it's I wish that could happen, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. There's a song by Jack Johnson. It's called "Mediocre Bad Guys," and I don't know where he's from. I think he spends a lot of time in Hawaii though, but he's very mellow. Like all his music is very mellow and chill, but it has a lot of deep meaning. So, anyways, "Mediocre Bad Guys" is about people who are. To me, it sounds like most Southern like older men, but the song is about like people who are good people, but they have no aspirations to do like great things. They're just a good person, and they don't try to put you down. But the fact that you aspire to be great or like to do amazing things, like how you were saying you want to be a millionaire, like they're the type of person to be like, well, it might not happen because you live in Memphis and there aren't that many millionaires in Memphis. Like they have that kind of mindset. So they want you to basically like be on the same level as they are. They aren't trying to put you down, but they're not trying to help you. Yeah. They're like reality type people. They're not trying to help you like progress and be great. And I was like, dang, that's a
what a bummer, you know?
That's a crazy thing. So that's why it's called mediocre bad guys, because they're not really bad, but they're mediocre bad. So it's pretty crazy.
Joe.
Yeah, it's a crazy concept.
I'm gonna have to look that up. No, because I agree with that in the sense of there aren't bad people out there. Like there are people that do like evil things.
Yeah.
Just from, it goes back to nature versus nurture, And so even an average person, I don't think an average person is bad whatsoever, because that's the lifestyle that they want. So when they're trying to talk to you about, well, it's not going to happen, I think that just people are just being realistic.
Yeah.
And they weren't taught how to aspire to go after that, or hell, even be scared of it. Like I just told you, like I flew on a plane knowing nobody and I'm walking in, do you need my help?
Yeah.
No, we got it. Are you sure? Like, like being scared, and that's the risk people are willing to take versus the risk that average people don't want to take. Yeah. Because they're comfortable.
Yeah. I think two things that people need to feel more is scared and exhausted.
Why do you think that?
So being scared, I think, allows you to just feel alive. Like you feel like you have a purpose of doing something. You don't feel like, I don't know, you don't feel like everything's just meant to happen. Like everything's supposed to be a certain way.
Yeah.
But when you're scared, it's like, oh, that's the plot twist of a scary movie. Is when everything's going normal and then something crazy happens. And then the fun part of a scary movie is watching how the people react. That's
true. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's not so much the scary thing is what are they about to do?
The reaction.
Yeah. So that's how life
how they gonna solve
be.
The problem.
Exactly, and that's how life should be. Is you are the person in the scary movie. If something crazy happens to you, how do you react, and how do you going to live your life after that?
Yeah.
And then also being exhausted. So. I used to work at Gold's Gym in Gadsden, and people would always complain about having to walk like, I don't know, maybe 30 feet to the freaking door. And it was like, you're at the gym. Why are you complaining about having a bad parking spot, having to walk inside the building?
When you're about to go run or do something.
Exactly. Yeah. So
more strenuous.
The whole point of that, why I said that, was people should be okay with being exhausted. Because if you have problems going to sleep, it's probably because you didn't do enough in that day to make you tired enough. Because when you're really tired, you're ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be exhausted. It's okay to feel like you don't want to move. Because that's good. That means go to sleep, recharge, and then do something else and be productive. You
sound just like Terry Crews. I don't know if you've heard a little speech that he did, and he talked about, if you're tired, rest. If you're hungry, eat. Then you've done everything that you personally wanted to do, so there's no excuses for you not to continue on, or there's no excuses for you not to try out that diet, because you've literally done everything that you thought was hindering you from not doing.
That's good.
And so that's what made me think of that. Like, I totally relate on the fact of, fear, because the choices that we make nowadays, we either create our own hell, or life is just going to throw adversity at us, and then we still have to figure out the reaction.
Yeah.
And it's just deciphering, did I cause it, or is life throwing it at me? So if I caused it, then I'm about to just be extremely hard on myself. At least that's how I am with me. And I'm about to maybe do a moment of tears or cry, or just be angry and frustrated, and I'm either going to figure out what I'm going to do. But if life is throwing it at me, I take a little bit better grace or give myself more grace, in the sense of, I know life is doing it, but now I'm still left with the choice of what's my reaction.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just, I don't know, a lot of people aren't shown, the way of, you've got options.
Yeah.
Or it just goes back to this is how it's always going to be. You have options. What are your positive outcomes that you're going to work towards to get past it?
Mm-hmm. I always feel like what you had said was like one of the truest statements I had ever heard from our last podcast. Shoot, I even said it on another podcast.
Yeah.
Dang, I forgot what it was. Oh, you said people feel like they have to wait for permission to say to do stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, that's so true. I just know so many people who are like, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I'm just like, do it. What are you waiting for?
What's stopping you?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually thinking on the way over here I follow a bunch of other people, and one woman said if you aren't where you're supposed to be, it's because you personally haven't leveled up. It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So then I start to sit there and think about, just a lot of things that I said, I want to do this. I want to do this. Of course, I did say, I want to be a millionaire. And so what did I not level up in?
Yeah.
That I'm saying that I'm ready. Like I'm speaking it out loud, but I'm not, taking the actions with it. So I'm like, okay. And it goes back to this whole fear stuff, how am I controlling it? They say you have two wolves that live inside of you, you have the courage wolf and you have the fear wolf, and the one of them, whichever wins, is the one that you feed the most.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm feeding the courage wolf, right? I'm feeding it, but it's what else can I be doing or not doing or do or should not do that is really just taking all of my energy away. I listened to a podcast because a good friend of mine, Rich Rolls. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. I think you would really love him. So check him out, Rich Rolls. He brought on a guy, a former Navy SEAL, and one of the things he said was every day we have a certain amount of energy that we create, and regardless of whatever energy that we have, we're going to be spending it. We're going to be giving it out to whatever. So if you're fighting this is what I'm thinking. So if I'm fighting the wrong battles, then all of my energy is going to this one battle that should not have been used, because now I'm exhausted and I'm tired for my priorities. So then I start to think, okay, well, if I want to do this, I want to be a millionaire. I literally evaluated myself and just thought, wow, I spent all this energy on XYZ when that could have been transferring into my courage wolf for being a millionaire, for starting that business, for doing all these other things. So it goes back to what's the permission? I allowed my energy to go out to things that should not have been. So every day, I said I listened to it the other day. So yesterday and today, I wake up in the morning and I evaluate all of my energy. Like, okay, what is the energy that I'm feeling? What are the thoughts that are coming inside my head that feels like it needs to be a priority? Is it a priority or is it not? If it is, okay, then I can give my energy to this because that's going to give me peace of mind.
Yeah.
If it's not a priority, then I can put it on the back burner for another day, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that really just helped me to understand just my body a little more. Like, wow, I am giving energy out every single day. I need to use it in the best possible way.
Yeah, for sure. I even have to get on to Rachel about that because, like, she'll be focused on, like, something bad that happened at work. And I don't encourage her to quit her job, but I kind of like, look, if you're complaining about it, like, this much, you can quit your job because I make enough money to support us and for us to do whatever we need. Yeah. So go do what you want to do because at the end of the day, she's 25. So I was like, if you get 30 or 35 or whatever age, you don't want to look back and like, man, I could have been for that many years, I could have been doing whatever I wanted to do, but instead I stuck and just doing that. And she says, it's a good opportunity because Lifetime, they have so many resources and stuff like that. So I'm just like, that's great and all, but at the same time, it's like, I always say, every decision is the wrong decision. Like whatever we're doing right now, like us doing this podcast, like we could be doing anything else right now, taking advantage of an opportunity. Yeah. Or we could be doing this and it's an opportunity. So every decision is the wrong decision.
The opportunity cost.
Yeah, exactly. So I tell her like, just figure out what you really want to do and just go do it. Like if doing this job you think is the best opportunity because you get to meet people and stuff like that, then okay. But don't don't look back and be like, man, I should have, I could have been doing this or I could have been doing that. Because I mean, you have the ability to do it. Just go do it.
You have your permission.
Yeah, exactly. Give yourself that permission.
That's great.
Yeah, I always have to do that. I always have to weigh like what I'm doing. Like even with like traveling, that's the worst. So we actually went to Vancouver. Did we tell you about that?
No, you didn't.
Oh man,
I saw some pictures.
Yeah, so Vancouver was dope. So we went there, I think it was the end of, or the middle of November. Yeah, the middle of November. But it was awesome. Like, the scenery is amazing. If you like hiking, just like trails and stuff like that, you'll love Vancouver. It's beautiful. And then the city as well is awesome. They have I was telling actually Louise Page, I had her on the last podcast. I was telling her about they're like LBGQT, what are all the initials?
I understand.
Yeah, I was telling her about that. It's they have a lot of the rainbow roads, and I saw one of her pictures. They have like the rainbow crosswalk. They had a whole like intersection of that in downtown Vancouver, and they had like lights down the streets, and what else did they have? They had like a ton of stuff, just a lot of culture. It was just a lot of culture up there, and it was awesome. And it was a lot of Asians.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Asians. I know when we went to, where did we go? It was somewhere else in Canada. There was a bunch of Indians, like East Indian people.
Okay.
And I was like, man, Canada's different, because they're known to be French, like the French people.
Yes.
Started Canada or whatever. No, started Canada.
I understand.
But, then
Please don't correct us later.
Yeah.
We're just talking, okay?
French Canadian is what they're notorious for. Let me just say that. And then there was a lot of the East Indian people were in Winnipeg. That's it. It was the Winnipeg area. And then a ton of Asians on the West Coast, which Vancouver is like the far West Coast.
Okay.
I think it takes like 2 hours to get to Seattle from there.
Oh, wow.
But, on that whole West Coast, there's a ton of Asian people because they come over.
Yes.
And they just like that. There's like 12 little Chinatowns in California. Like they have a lot of that. So maybe that was why that was over there. But they had a ton of like, we're just going down the streets and there's just like Korean place, like Japanese and then Chinese. And like all these
so
type of restaurants. I was
cool.
like, that's crazy.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I love Vancouver. It's awesome. If you ever like to,
I want to travel. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to travel.
I would definitely go there.
I've only been to South Africa, and I went to South Africa for a mission trip during college. So I was there for a month. The coolest experience ever. I had braces when I went, and that was not fun. That was super not fun. And so we flew in to Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Oh my gosh, loved it. I was only there twice. So we landed, and then when we came back home, we went through it again too.
Okay.
So yeah, flew into Qatar. Then it was about 60 students. So we were all in different groups. Some went to Asia. Some went to what's another? Some went to Asia. And then I guess the rest of us went to Africa. And so once we split up, then we got to Johannesburg, in the middle of Africa. So Johannesburg, Africa, and then we still had little small groups. So then they went into Zimbabwe, and we went to South Africa. So we went to Durban, and that was the coolest thing ever. So we had to take a bus ride. I felt so bad because twice I fell asleep on people. They were talking to me, and I was just so tired because we were put to work. And we laid sod down. We put up fence post. We moved stuff. So the place that we went, it's called Live Village. And the acronyms, I think it's in the language is Afrikaans. And it stands for God's right way or God's right path. So a vision was given to a man named Titch. And so he was to create these little live villages. These were some sophisticated villages. It was all gated, okay? And they got moms, I think they got them off from the street or within the court system, and they trained them to be foster parents because then they would get children off the streets or within the court system and give them to these foster moms that they train.
Yeah.
So they had a schooling system, and they had a dental practice. They had a psychologist there. They had their own very sophisticated little village.
Yeah.
And then the volunteers or any of the school teachers or anybody that works in the compound, I don't want to say compound, but it's just like this mini village. Like, it's just this, like, I don't know, makes me think of military. It's like, it does. It's just this little, it's all gated, and it's very safe on the inside. And so anybody that lives there or volunteers, they live up top on this little, some hills, but it's definitely a little bit more gated too, because, I mean, a lot of these children come from different just traumatic experiences.
Okay.
It was very cool because these children are so funny, and we got to read to them, we got to play and just, love on them, and we got to, talk to them about God, and they helped us, just teaching us different languages or teaching us different dances, or just, giving us a cute little smile. And we actually got to eat sugarcane, like the stalk, and just got to suck on sugarcane. So that was super, super cool.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, like it grew along. Or
How's
I'm
it
sure
taste?
It's very sweet.
Does it just taste like you're eating sugar, or like does
Well,
it taste like
like-
a thing?
I mean, okay. I don't know if you can imagine our sugar without preservatives. It tasted like it was natural. You see what I'm saying? And so, like, but it was sweet, but it was in a sense of, I don't know, it's like when you're eating a fruit, okay? And you can taste the sugar off of that.
Yeah.
It's like that. And
Okay.
so it has, it's got the sweetness to it. There's no bitterness, whatever. But when we were sucking on the little stalk, it kind of disappeared so quickly. Yeah, so then you had to, like, kept going up on the and like sucking on it and everything. And so, but it was so cool because it grew along the fence on the outside that protected everybody that was inside. So, so he was supposed to go out and create these little live villages. And so the one that we were at, it was in their fifth year of being there and celebration. And so we were laying down side, we were putting up the fences, like I said, and we were doing tiny, tiny little beads and just like miscellaneous, like little background work for celebration.
Yeah.
And then we went, and they gave us a free day because they gave us the itinerary. We're there to help out in whatever way. And everybody who went to different like countries, they had different itineraries because every culture is going to be different. So we were fortunate enough to have a bed and a nice little housing and running water that was right there. A lot of my friends, they slept on the ground and slept in tents, and then they would have to go to the river to go bathe or something to go walk. And some places they only had like a certain staple. So it was onions, beans, maybe beans. I know for a fact onions because they talked about onions a lot, and they got sick of it because that's all they kept eating.
Yeah.
But that's how that particular village lived, or that that spot of the world. So that was really cool. And we had no phones with us. We only took our Bible, and we couldn't read anything. It's just to help detox us and help us be there for the other people.
Yeah.
I was a bad kid. We were in the library, and I got a book and I started reading. I was like, I'm sorry, Jesus, but I need something else.
Oh my goodness.
But we got to, man, like the people there were just so amazing. We helped build churches, and we all came together. So it was an experience like, when Jesus was here on earth and the 12 disciples, it was an experience like that. Everybody was always together. You did not get any time to yourself whatsoever. And so that almost kind of got annoying because I'm a very outgoing person, but I need my space too.
Yeah, for sure.
And everybody's got their own stuff. So we were always together, waking up. I was designated to get up every single lady. And so, it just kind of was placed upon me. But I liked it. We were along when all 60 of us were together. Girls slept all in one side. Boys slept in, the other side. We all ate together, so lines were packed up in the kitchen trying to get food, and then we would all go work together.
Okay.
And we would help build 10 homes. People would donate kind of like the sheet metals that you would pass by, like a manufacturing place.
Yeah.
So we would build some of them. We helped what's that word I'm looking for? We would help route another water system for them because it would flood. So then we would have to I don't know how you would how I'm describing it, but we laid down rock,
Like their irrigation system.
Yes, thank you so much. Sorry guys. To help make sure that certain houses weren't being flooded. So we were like towing up rocks and we were able to work.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun. And then at the end, the last day before we got to leave, we walked around and we had a few men and I think even some women, but I think it was the men mostly playing guitars.
Okay.
And we went around the whole place just praying over people. Like tears are coming to everybody's eyes. I remember my good friend Taylor, she was walking around, she was praying about people and God was giving her visions about different prophecies for each one of us. She told me mine. It was super cool. And they were just so loving. Their portion plates for meals are hella small, super small.
Yeah.
And I got fat. I really did. I got big. Their food is leaner. It's so much healthier for you. And they would just make so much food and then say, here's this and what else do you guys need? And I had a blast.
Yeah.
I remember coming back. I actually got a cold because it was summer for us here, but it's winter over there for them. And we were on a bus coming back to an airport so we can fly, back into Saudi Arabia and then back home. And the windows kept rattling and it was raining outside and it was cold. And so the window would rattle open.
Oh, man.
And the cold was just hitting my face. So I got this cold, got my braces on, and I'm just like,
How cold was it? Do you remember?
Oh, no, I really don't. But it was chilly enough to where, you always had a jacket on. Some form, of long sleeves. And if you stood in the shadows, you got cold. You got cold. So, but it was super fun. I miss them. I still talk to a few of them to this day.
Yeah.
And I remember coming back home and I was sad. I was sad for a while. But we had such a good system in place in the fact of, yes, only bringing our Bible to read. But when I got back home, all I did was read for the first few months, different books. And I didn't watch TV or anything like that because that's just what I was accustomed to within that month.
Yeah.
It was crazy, just that whole silence and solitude away from technology and community. They're so big on that. So they would have tea time. They would just have moments of just talking with you and just listening to you and vice versa, sharing with you, opening their home to you so you can actually, I don't know, just for me, I felt loved and I felt accepted. And I definitely felt like I was home, regardless, even though I wasn't ever born there, I came from across the sea. I just felt like I'd known them all my life, and I come back home and it was just negativity after negativity after negativity. Not the fact that I was there, but just that's just how a lot of us are, going back to this is how things always are and always will be. So just a bunch of complaining and not so much open doors because that's not our culture, you're coming over whenever we invite you over, and so I got a little sad for a moment because I missed it so much, and then I figured out a way to get over it.
Yeah, I actually went to where was it? Ecuador. I went to Ecuador when I was in 8th or 9th grade on a mission trip for the church I was going to. But it was pretty eye opening. Just being able to help people in another country and setting stuff up for them. And I remember we were blowing bubbles for the kids and they were going crazy over it. They were going. I was like, man, these are just bubbles.
But they're so happy.
Yeah, super happy about that. And then I think we had some candy or something. We were just giving them candy, and they just thought it was crazy. And I was like, man, this is wild. The simplest things make other people so happy. Speaking of that, I actually had a speech class in college, and this dude, he was from England, and I think he moved to Atlanta or something when he was a teenager, but grew up in England and then, or I think it was like London specifically.
Okay.
And then moved to Atlanta or something. Then he was coming to college at JSU where I went. And so we had to do a speech we had to pick a thing, like an object, and then talk about it. And he chose the Hot Pocket. And he was talking about how the Hot Pocket is the greatest invention America ever came up with.
Oh, man.
And he was talking about how amazing it is. He was like, you took this pizza and you put it in this little Hot Pocket and you throw it in the microwave and then it's done. And I was like, okay. Like, he finds the Hot Pocket amazing.
Oh
And I
my
was
gosh.
like, it's crazy how like different things, if you like from wherever you're from.
Yes.
Like some people find that amazing. So I thought it was kind of funny though.
Oh my gosh, I took a speech course in college too. And I remember this one specific time where it was an informative or, a speech that you got to go in detail about.
Okay, yeah.
I had a test coming up, so I hit 2 birds with 1 stone. So as I'm studying for my test, my speech was about volcanoes.
All right.
So I aced both of them.
Nice,
And so
nice.
let me go in super detail right here because I'm studying too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's dope.
That's funny. Oh man.
Yeah, it was funny. Gosh, there was this one. I don't even remember what the speech was supposed to be about. I can't remember, but I knew I wasn't prepared. I don't even think I knew we had a speech that day.
Oh.
And so it's my turn to go up, and I start talking, and I think it had to be like 5 minutes or less or something like that. We had a time limit.
Yep.
And when I was done, the teacher was like, "That was pretty good. It seemed like you were just a little unorganized." And I was like, "I didn't know we had a speech today." He was like, "Oh," he was like, "That was pretty good."
To be honest.
Yeah, he was like, "That was actually pretty good for you to not know," but it was like I could tell you weren't organized, but it was just.
But it was still good overall.
Yeah. But I love.
Oh my gosh.
Just being able to openly talk, I'm fine. Like doing this podcast, like
Yeah.
I can openly talk, and that's why I got the camcorder, because it's not that 30-minute stuff like we did last time. I felt like we had an agenda, and we were just trying to like cram all this info, like who Amber Russell is, and what you're doing and stuff like that, and then like, okay, hurry up and let's get it all done. But with a camcorder, like we were able to just talk and just like open up our thoughts and our conversation to whatever.
Which is cool that we're able to do that here, because
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of places, even here, that we just can't. Like, we just get attacked for our opinions. Like, well, shit, it's my opinion.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I ain't attacking yours.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's nice to have this open conversation. Yes.
Yeah, even like on social media, I was talking about this with Louise when I had her on. It's like that's a social media. It's a fake world, so it's a virtual world where
Your digital persona.
you could be anybody you want to be. You can say anything you want to say, and well, sort of,
Kind of, right?
Yeah. Like on Facebook and Instagram, like well, Instagram, I know they block like you can't be nude, or you can't. I don't know about like speech wise. I think you can say pretty much anything you want to. They might block you for saying certain things, but
Picture wise, nudity, for sure.
wise for sure.
Yeah.
I know they have that like the picture will pop up where it says like was it like some kind of content, like whatever the content is, if it's like an animal that's being killed, or
viewer discretion or something like that.
Yeah, it's got that little eyeball right there.
Yes.
So they try to, hey, you're about to watch something that's graphic.
If you click on it,
then they'll let you see it. But Facebook, I don't know what their boundaries are. I'm not really on Facebook a lot. Like I get on there, check to see if I have any notifications. I've got a independent artist community page that I started for just like independent musicians. And so that's pretty much what I do on Facebook. Not a ton. I'm mainly on Instagram. For Twitter, I do like college football, sports altogether, but that's what I use my Twitter for. But Twitter's pretty open. Like it's pretty much like the Wild West.
Yeah.
I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and he had I think his name is Jack Dorsey. I don't want to get this wrong, but Jack Dorsey might be somebody completely different. But I think his name is Jack Dorsey. He's the CEO of Twitter, and he was saying he was thinking about doing like 2 different Twitters, like a Twitter that is moderated, and then one that has like open world. Like you
Ah.
can say whatever you want to say, you can do whatever you want to do. And I was like, that would
So
be
like a
wild.
cleaner version, and then like
Like
okay.
an edited version and
Yeah.
an unedited version, like
Yeah.
raw version. I was like, ooh.
You might not get a lot on this side. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you
Yeah.
will. It might fool the kids, that are growing up, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. I'm not too sure about Facebook. I think it's okay. And I say this that it's pretty open because I had someone tell me about this documentary on Netflix, and it's called I'm gonna say it. Sorry, audience. Okay, forgive me. Don't fuck with cats.
I've heard about that.
Okay, so it was.
Have you listened to it?
No, so
have you
watched it. No, so this a girl was just telling me I was having side conversations like I usually do. We're talking about Netflix. We're actually talking about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love that
Oh
show.
my God, that is the best show.
I love that show. And then she talked about this documentary. Well, this dude is a serial killer, and he was posting videos of him killing cats.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
That's in the documentary?
That's in the documentary. And so, and he was just posting it on Facebook and just posting it. And at first, I think she said, people were kind of skeptical because we do have a lot of nice software to be able to edit and do a bunch of crazy shit, But then this dude, I think it's a dude, I haven't watched it, but he came on. I'm gonna say he came on, and he had wrote like a comment or a post saying next time it's going to be bigger game or something like that, kills a human. And so people are trying to tell the FBI about this dude, and for some odd reason they don't see him as a threat, and then after he kills somebody, he's a threat, obviously.
Oh, snap.
Even though the whole killing pets thing it's part of the triad,
Yeah.
So anyways, I guess I don't know who he killed exactly, but then they were able to finally try and track his IP address and all this other stuff. Yeah. So, it goes back to the whole Facebook policy. I don't know, because Facebook was allowed that to happen, even though they didn't know, a lot of other people didn't know if this guy was actually real or not.
Yeah.
So I don't know what a lot of their Facebook policy is. I do know that you can report somebody if you know for a fact that that's not a true person, or a human trafficking. God bless, that's been going on a lot lately, I feel like.
I haven't really heard about it.
Really?
It's been bad.
Yeah, it really has. And so, but fake accounts or whatever, and then that's all I can think of when it comes to Facebook policy.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something now with nudity, maybe. I don't know. I know a lot of, since it's over 1 billion users, if not more, of course, on Facebook, so a lot of businesses have it. And then, I don't know if you know this, Facebook bought out Instagram.
Yes.
So any ads that you do with Instagram, you got to go through your Facebook account. Yeah, so that was smart of them. You're not going to forget us.
I was actually, I'm still really interested on I'm always interested in the next big thing. So right now, the next big thing is TikTok.
I'm about to say TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok is the next big thing right now. Personally, I'm not really into TikTok just because it's not something that I watch. The content on there is not something that I want to see regularly for my social media or whatever. But to me, it's just too similar to what we already have. You know what I mean? It didn't open a new avenue. It's just videos that people can edit and then post. You can already do that. So
True.
I wonder what is something that's going to be different. The next thing that's going to be different than what we already have. I mean, as far as social media, being able to say stuff, so comments, a status, pictures, video, and I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the whole concept. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, all those is what can I say and what can I show? That's pretty much the concept. So I'm really interested in what could be next. And from a marketing standpoint, people are really interested in that because that's what a lot of people are making their money from.
Yeah.
That's what made the YouTubers and Instagrammers that completely changed their world.
Yeah.
I can be myself, make money off of it, and the money, the revenue that big name companies, they're not paying professional marketing companies. They're just paying me. I'm just a normal person that is good at showing content, and so I'm getting paid off of it. So that I'm super intrigued on who can create something different that is not what we already have.
You know, it's funny because you said we have status, we have comments, we have post, now we have video. And that's the main focus right there, video. We've moved into such a video era and video marketing to where I can see your true self. I can hear your voice. I can actually see your reaction to certain things. So if you say you like something, but your body language is totally against it, I know you're lying, you know?
Yeah.
Like I can actually like see it. I can connect with you in a way that is unreal. And I think that's the key point is how can I connect with these people emotionally with my demographic? And the best way to do that is video. Now with TikTok, I think it's cool. I actually personally don't have an account, but I think it's just cool in the sense of you can edit and it's short-lived, kind of like Snapchat. I don't know if the videos stay on there because I don't have an account. I guess I should get one to find out. But you're right. We can edit videos and put it together and then just post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook, or hell, even Snapchat. You know, we just got to like bring it down. So I think in a marketing standpoint, if it's video and then if it's common people that we're using, they're going to build some type of platform for these influencers in these cities. And it might be specifically niche to cities, you know, and it's like, okay, but how they're gonna do that, I don't know, right? So that's just the next big thing. So the next thing right now is TikTok, and I actually got I think it's called Fire Video or something like that, and it's actually cool. I can see that going off in the sense of it's like, you know how you do a pan how is that, the panorama.
Yeah, panoramic.
Yeah, thank you.
Where it's just like a wide.
Yeah. So with the video, as you're shooting, like you can move it and you don't have to twist your phone to get that whole angle with it. So that appealed to me in the sense of, I can have my phone like this and I can move with it, but if I turn my video, it's gonna still shoot the same way as if I never had it face down. And now it's just gonna add this extra background that it didn't see. I have to get the name right, but it's like Fire Video or something of that nature. But it's super cool in the sense of I can see it moving in some type of direction like that type of video. Yeah. So that's
just changing how the video is. How it's broadcasted.
Yeah. And so it's just that's cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
One thing I also think is interesting is so just looking at how different industries like market themselves. So, you know, me being in the music industry, I'm really into seeing like what are artists doing. And it's so funny because so many people put in a ton of work to do certain things, and then sometimes it seems like somebody put in no work, and seeing the revenue that gets brought in from both different like amounts of work is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Like me and one of my friends, DeAndre, like when we're making music, we'll be thinking about like different beats that we can use. So pretty much all we make is like rap music right now. And there there would be some songs that we're listening to where the beat is like super simple. And I don't know if you like listen to a lot of music nowadays, a lot of rap music nowadays, but it's so short. Like the songs are like a minute and like 50 seconds.
It's 2 minutes or something, you know?
Especially like Old Town Road. Like when everybody heard Old Town Road, they probably played it like 1,000 times the first time they heard it.
Yeah.
Because it was like a 2-minute song.
Yeah.
And that's genius because you make music off of streams. So if somebody listens to it once and they're like, oh, I really like this song, they're going to play it like 5 times. So you just got 5 plays just because your song was short.
That's true. Yeah. That's crazy. So are y'all going to shorten your lyrics now? Is that the direction?
Yeah. What we've been doing is we've been making a lot of songs that are probably about like the 2-minute mark. So, I mean, not like at 2 minutes, but like less than 3 minutes. And it actually speeds up your workflow because, you know, we're used to making songs that are like 3 minutes and like 30 seconds long. The difference in like a 3-minute song and a 2-minute song is crazy for
I feel like a lot.
for an artist. Yeah, like when you're writing to a song, and you're like, so if you're making your lyrics to a verse, like you'll be 10 seconds in, and you're like, man, that's not even that much, or you're 30 seconds into your verse, and it's like, I've got so much left to do. So it's the difference in like how much work you can put out is a drastic difference. So if you do 10 songs at 2 minutes, that's 20 minutes of music right there.
Huh.
But if you do 10 songs at 3 minutes, that's 30 minutes of music right there. So that's a 10-minute gap.
Wow.
Of multiple songs that you could fill in right there.
Yeah.
So
are you telling me that over time we're actually going back into the classical era, where there's nobody singing, just the instruments? It's slowly moving into that. Is that what? No.
Well, I know they had there was some of the older music, they would have like instrumentals for, I would say, like a minute. Like the beginning of the song was like a minute of just like a saxophone or like somebody playing the piano, and then somebody would start singing for like 2 to 3 minutes, and then they would have like an interlude of just the instruments, and then the person would like go back into the chorus, and then they'd have like an outro.
Yeah.
And so the song would be like 6-7 minutes long.
Yes.
But like most of it was just instrumentals, and I feel like now that wouldn't really fly.
No, we're so like quick with our generation.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be now, and it's got to catch me before I'm on to the next thing. Yeah.
Exactly,
So that's crazy.
Yeah, people like our generation, not even just like our generation, like age-wise, just like the humans that are alive nowadays.
Yeah.
We've adapted to having everything so fast. Like,
Yeah.
So I barely eat fast food.
The Hot Pockets. It just
yeah,
done.
right, exactly. So, I barely eat fast food. But when I do, and I see people get upset, like when they're there, I'm just like, okay, think about this. You drove to a place that decided to make food for you. All you had to do is just tell them what you wanted, and they do everything for you. All you have to do is just give them your card or some cash, and they just give it to you.
True.
In like probably 15 minutes or less. The average fast food place is going to give you your food guaranteed in 15 minutes or less. That's a pretty quick turnover compared to you making that food yourself.
Prepping, cooking.
Exactly. Like if you're getting a burger and fries from McDonald's or something, you didn't have to make the meat. You didn't have to go get the meat. You didn't have to go get the pickles, the cheese, the bread. No, you didn't have to cook any of it. Nothing.
Nope.
You just have to sit there and tell them what you want.
In your car. Yep.
And people get so mad that they didn't get their food in 5 minutes. It's like, really?
It's funny because a doctor, I follow him on Instagram, go figure, and he was saying that just for 5 days he ate nothing but fast food, and he gained weight, and then he was going over just the fact of like, this is what I was feeling every day. So I don't know the technical terms. So he's like, at first my body was happy and really excited, and then all of a sudden I felt lethargic. I gained weight, and this is how my stomach processed it, and this is what it could lead to in the future if I kept going on with it. And it was just so crazy, the fact of, because it makes me think of, what's that dude who did the 30 days, Mr. Fry guy or something like that.
I don't remember his name.
But you know what I'm talking about. He ate McDonald's for 30 days, breakfast,
Super Size
lunch.
Me was the name of the movie.
Thank you. And like, I remember watching, I had to stop at one point because he started crying.
Yeah.
Not because he was crying, but it was just, I don't know what exactly the point he was trying to prove.
Yeah. I think he was just trying to see what the fast food
What the reaction
would do to you.
And he started crying, and that hit me emotionally. Like, this is food that we eat, and why is it bringing you to tears? Like, it should be fueling your body. And so we're so quick-lived, and we want things now, or we get upset. Like, what happened to that whole minute long of a guitar or piano, and then appreciating the artist that got up there, or is singing it online or something because they're putting themselves out there. So it's like, oh, what? Yeah, you're right. The humans on this planet have definitely adapted to a fast paced, and it's like, who told us to go fast?
Yeah, right?
Who told us? Will Ferrell, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah. Exactly.
But who told us to go fast?
It just happens.
Yeah.
It's really TV. Like TV TV and the internet, just like, or media, like dictate what we do in our lives.
Yeah.
And famous people, like people who get put in the limelight, pretty much like rule the planet. Like,
Yeah.
so if you take the most famous musicians, like in the 80s or 70s or whatever, like rock bands, like everybody was wearing their hair and their clothes
Yep.
like the famous rock stars, because that's like music just runs people's lives, and they see their
True.
favorite musicians dress in a certain way or act in a certain way. They're like, that's what I want to do. That's why so many kids nowadays are like, they are sipping that lean, the cough syrup and stuff like that, and they're doing drugs and stuff like that, is because they see
Their
like
favorite people.
yeah, they're famous rappers and stuff like that doing that. And also, it's just like when you put people of a certain status, like, you know, you see them have money and stuff like that, you feel like I have to do the things that they're doing to get what I want to get, or I have to do what they're doing just to be happy. And it's like, no, that's not the case.
And that's so crazy in the sense of it. What they see, what we all see,
Yeah.
is after they've put in the hours of busting their ass, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
And we don't talk about the crying stuff. I need to get back and start posting again about my weakness posts, you know? Because we don't like to sit there and hone on our weaknesses. We don't
Yeah.
like for people to see us, quote unquote, fail. But that's how we succeed, is the fact that we failed, but we got back up again. And so, yeah, that's so interesting in the sense of, I agree. And this kids or even adults too. You know, my favorite person is doing this, so in order for me to get recognized, I've got to do that.
Yeah.
But we don't know what they literally just encountered for them to come back up. You know,
Yeah.
to be able to get over that hard time or whatever, and that is their way, whether good or bad, to enjoy. Or reap that benefit for whatever that they put in from their hard hours.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, let me reap this benefit too, because they're doing it. Because I've earned it too. And so we've all got our little ways of rewarding ourselves. And that's crazy. Yeah. Because we do follow whoever, you know, is, if we're hard on ourselves because they're hard on themselves probably, you know. And so that's, you're so right. Music, it really does set the path and tone
It does
for us.
It
Yes.
does.
Man.
But even outside of music, so you know, all the people that you're following on Instagram for like motivational speeches and stuff, you might not even realize it, but you'll probably find yourself doing things that you know that they do because you see their success, and you're like, well, if I want to be successful, I should probably be doing some of the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad strategy. Like, copycatting is a way to be successful.
Yes.
Because if somebody is getting success, there's a reason why, and people. To be able to, you know, get to that same level, you should probably just copy what they're doing because it's going to help you.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think about early morning rises? Are you for that or are you not for that? Because studies do show in the fact of, you know, you get up earlier, you're more productive, right? Or you start your day out earlier and you have a certain routine.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that?
So I really like getting up early in the morning. I don't have a problem with staying up late, but I also don't have a problem with going to sleep super early. So actually, I got off work at like 2:40 yesterday, came home, and what did I do? I think I started working on music or whatever. But me and Rachel were asleep downstairs watching. Have you ever seen Sam, the cooking guy, on YouTube?
No.
Dude's pretty funny. Like, he's like subliminally funny. Like, he's not trying to be hilarious, but he's just funny.
Yeah.
And he has great quality videos, but he just cooks like regular food that you would get at like a restaurant. And he's like, so he cooked like a Wendy's Baconator, but he like homemade it.
Okay.
And then he buys a Wendy's Baconator and like eats them both. He's like, mine's better. So
Just let you know, mine's better.
yeah. But anyways, we were watching that last night, and I fell asleep before she did, but we both fell asleep on the couch watching Sam the Cooking Guy. And then, but that was at like 9 o'clock last night. And then I woke up, and then woke her up, and I was like, let's get in bed. So that was at 10. I woke up my alarm actually went off. It wasn't supposed to go off, but it went off at like 4:30, which is when I usually wake up for work because I'm at work by 6. I think I went back to sleep, but then I woke back up at like 5 something.
Okay.
And just kind of like sift through all my social media right quick. And then I was like, all right, I'm getting up. Rachel will sleep. Like, she's a sleeper. She says she doesn't get 8 hours. Like, it's not good for her body completely. But me, I'm just like, if I got 4 hours or if I got 10 hours, like I just need to go. If I get too much sleep, I feel bad actually. Like if I get if I get 8 or more, I don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
8 to like 6 is like my goal, because around that time frame of that amount of sleep, I feel good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was up and out of bed, and I was actually making music. I made a beat this morning at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So I'm already like doing stuff and ready. Like I would say if it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock and I haven't actually accomplished something, then I feel lazy. So and that's just me though.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So I started doing this detox. Okay. Well, yeah, it was a detox. So I follow Transformation Church, and every year they do what's called the Daniel's Fast, and I tried it with them. I remember thinking last year, oh my gosh, I want to try it, but
Is
it was
that like soups or something like that?
But they do it's pretty much like a vegan diet almost.
Oh, okay.
So all whole foods, no sugar, no bread, and then it gave you a few other things that you can eat, and then they also give you recipes too. So it was like, it wasn't all that bad. And then on top of all that, there was a journal, and so every day, you had your time with God. So it was really nice. So I used to, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get back into my groove. Because last year, I remember I used to get up super early. I used to get up at 4 a.m. just to get up, read, do my skin regimen. Sometimes I would work out depending on if I wanted to go to Shelby Farms to go run, or if I was going to go to the gym and do it, or just do something at home. And then I would shower, and then I would start my day. And then I just felt good. I felt good in the sense of I'm adding. For me, it was adding knowledge. So for you, it was making beats. For me, it was adding knowledge. And then life happened, I guess, and I just got off track, and then I stopped. 'Cause I think I told you on my last podcast, or our last podcast, that I used to listen to a sermon every day. I stopped doing that, and there was a lot of different things that I stopped doing. And I found for me, I can't sleep too long, unless like it's going back to being exhausted. Unless I'm really exhausted. One time I slept for like 10 to 12 hours, and so I was just going and going and going. But if I'm just sleeping, just cause I get a headache, and it's like my body's like, okay, let's do something.
Yeah.
Like you need to do something, and so I personally like it. So I love being a part of this, that whole like detox with the church, in the sense of it's reminding me of my purpose with what I'm supposed to be doing on this earth. If I'm not doing something, something's wrong here, like so I need to. For me, I do like getting up early, so I am productive. So when other life things happen, because we can't stop that, but we can control, back to reactions, right? We can control a little bit. So if I get up early, I can control my reading time, I can control whatever else. And then going to work, I can't control that, or I can't control other people out on the road, or like I can't control family things. It's just gonna happen. But at least I got X, Y, and Z done for myself, and I feel a little better. So then I can make my bed tomorrow. Have you ever heard that motivational speech?
Yes, about that Navy Admiral.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a pretty good speech.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I actually, after he had said that, I like just started making my bed.
I make my bed every morning too.
Yeah, because I was just like,
accomplish the first task.
Yeah, it's just such a small task. For everybody who hasn't heard it, I would definitely suggest go watching it. You can probably just YouTube like Navy Admiral speech about making bed or something. But basically what he's saying is making your bed is such a simple task, and you just need to get it done first thing in the morning. So that way you'll have accomplished one thing, and you'll just feel like you need to accomplish another thing. And then when you come home after like a long day of work and you're ready to get in bed, boom, there's that beautiful made bed that you made this morning. And so you can end your day. You started your day with a great accomplishment, and you can end your day on a good note because you can see what you started your day with. Yeah.
And then I think I love him saying, if you can't do the small things, what makes you think you're going to do the big things?
Yeah.
Like, that's right. Like, ooh, hit home, sir, hit home.
Yeah.
So I make my bed every day.
Yeah. And so speaking of that, like not being able to accomplish the big things, that's one thing I always think about is if I feel like I'm ready for like, so, you know, I've got the podcast, you know, I've been making music and stuff like that. So a lot of times people will feel like if they're making those small steps and they're like, you know, just knocking stuff out, they're like, okay, where's my millions? You know, it doesn't just happen. You have to, you know, as we were talking about earlier, you said a lot of people just see the fame and they don't see all the work that person put in. So a lot of times it's just, you just got to actually accomplish things. Like just starting doesn't get it done. Like just buying the things that takes to be good doesn't get you what you want. You have to actually do it. And that's hard for some people to swallow. It's like, how much can you actually produce? How much can you actually get done instead of just, you know, starting it?
Well, it was interesting in this fact that you said, you know, I've done this, I've done that. Why is my millions not in my bank account? A lot of people fail to recognize there's a holding pattern.
Yeah.
You know, we all go through a season where, for whatever reason, we have got to just stay consistent. And then that's how people get known. And then that's how their millions come, because all these great artists, these influencers, YouTubers, great example. Every day they made a video, regardless of, you know, how it started and how they edited it. You know, if it was great, it was great. If it wasn't, all right, try again tomorrow. But they would just stay consistent. And there's that holding pattern where you just gotta be in it. And I think that's what kills a lot of people. Because I know for me, personally speaking, and also surrounding yourself with who you're telling your passion or your purpose about. Because if you're in that holding pattern and then all of a sudden you're telling somebody that's realistic, gonna bring you straight down, you know? And so if you're surrounding yourself while you're in that holding pattern and people are actually there, hey, like, you just gotta wait it out or keep doing it, like, keep doing what you're doing, you'll get there. Like, that is super important. And just understanding we're all going to come across that season, but how are you going to handle it?
Yeah.
How are you going to react to it? Here comes that fear. Here comes that exhaustion. Woo! Like, what are we going to do, right? So that holding pattern, and then the millions come. Or, well, I don't know. Millions is like, money is such a tricky thing to talk about, because
it is.
Money doesn't make us happy, but money does get us by, or, you know, keeps us consistent or keeps us alive. That's for certain.
I think money doesn't buy happiness is the dumbest statement on earth.
Yeah.
It does buy happiness.
Yeah.
I get what they're trying to say. Like, I get the point of it. It's like just having money and then buying stuff isn't going to make you happy. That makes sense. But like Daniel Tosh, do you know who that is, the comedian?
Yes.
He was like, whoever said money doesn't buy happiness, it was an idiot. He was like, they obviously haven't seen somebody on a wave runner. It's like, you ever seen somebody frown on a wave runner? And then he's like, he's trying to frown and he's like all happy and whatnot. I was like, that's so true, because money can buy you things that makes you happy
for you.
Yeah, but it's just, that's not going to be your continuous happiness. Like, you can still be sad and have great things. So I get the point of it, but still, like, money can make you happy.
Yeah, no, like, you're right. How I said it, was totally wrong, because I agree in the sense. And everything that you just said, I think people don't understand their own happiness. So then they think buying all of these other extra things is going to make me happy.
Exactly.
And then they're miserable. Like you said, like, I know many people who have millions and then, you know, aren't super sad, or people even have like X amount that are super sad still. But it's just like, okay, what is your happiness?
Exactly.
And I think that's the first thing in figuring out how then they can use their money to be able to make them smile, you know, because it's something that they produced and not someone else's vision.
True. So you say you wanted to be a millionaire. Yeah. What exactly, like, so if you, let me just give you this scenario. So if you had $100 million, what would you do?
What would I do? You have to ask me that in my state of not being great with finances. Okay, so my vision is paying off my debts. That's the first thing, like, I really want to do. I want to, and it's not a whole lot, but to me, it's huge. It's a huge burden, yes. And so, pay off all my debt. I do want to own multiple rental places, and I do. My vision in the long term is having certain houses set up for like my family. So income is coming in for them, so they don't have to worry about that.
Gotcha.
Another thing I want to do is actually pay off other people's debts too. Go to like debt collection agencies or like just go to a college. Like I've seen so many great stories of people just donating money, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to be able to do that. So that's another thing. And then of course, making sure that my future family is set up too, you know, like having, again, like different houses, but I also want to have houses for myself.
Yeah.
I want to travel and I see myself traveling. So I want to be able to purchase as wisely as I possibly can in different countries to be able to take my family over there or take my future children to be able to show them the world, you know, and then somehow just like give back. So I want to be able to pay off a bunch of my shit, buy a bunch of stuff, and then set up those houses like that. That's how I see it. Somehow I want to reinvest it. Still learning. So how to do that, I know rental properties, like I mentioned, but I'm sure there's other different ways to invest too, to be able to, I don't know, like just making sure there's multiple streams of income still coming in. Because you can give me it now, I can blow it off, but how am I going to pay for it later? You know, like, isn't there a statistic that says, like, if the lottery winners, you know, like, they go broke in, like, 3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't know.
Have you ever seen that TV show?
Nope.
Oh, there's, like, an old TV show. It doesn't come on anymore. I think they had maybe, like, I want to say, like, 3 seasons or something like that, maybe 2.
Yeah.
But it was called How the Lottery Changed My Life. And some of the people, they did okay. Like, they're fine.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people, I'd say maybe 60 to 70% of the people that were on that show went in debt. Like, they all went in debt. There was this one woman who had won it. I think she had, like, a whole family, like a husband and kids and whatnot. But they lived in, like, a trailer park. And, like, she bought a Lamborghini, but, like, didn't really know how to drive it. And so, like, they just, I don't know if they sold it or what, but they just bought it and was trying to drive it around. And, like, they sucked at driving it. So it was a solid, probably like $300,000 Lamborghini that they just like ended up doing nothing with because they just blew the money because that's a nice car.
Everyone else has it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, that's crazy. One guy really loved like professional wrestling, like WWE type stuff. So he started his own wrestling company, broadcast and everything. Didn't do well. Pretty sure he went into
some binding
into debt and everything with that. There's a lot of them. I think you can YouTube it and watch it, but yes, how the lottery changed my life. It was a crazy TV show because there's just so many people over and over again just terrible with their money. One guy bought like, I want to say like 20 cars or something like that just because he loved cars, but he never had the money to like start a car collection. So once he got that lottery money, he just started blowing it on like random cars. Like, I really like this 1974 truck that he really liked, so he just bought it. Yeah. And it was just, he just bought car after car after car after car. I'm like, that's so crazy.
Dang.
So, yeah.
Oh, well, that's hopefully, like, that's what I would do. I don't know. That's just my vision there. Everyone's got their own different vision. Obviously, the guy buying multiple cars, you know, that was his vision.
That's what he wanted to do.
But like, I don't know. That gave him peace of mind.
Yeah.
Because that made him happy, and so that would make me happy. That would give me peace of mind because I don't want to have to wake up and worry and wonder where, you know, X amount of money is going to come in to help take care of XYZ for me. I know I want to be certain of I invested it well or I did the best that I could and whatever, so I can have that peace of mind. Yeah. Cause I'm a drama factory, like inside my head, like, you know. So that's what would you do if someone gave you $100 million? Man, let's talk about this.
One thing I would definitely want to do is, first of all, save a bunch of it. I don't know how much. Probably at least 25% of it. So I'd probably put 25 million like away, just like save it. And then with the other 75 million,
right there in this bank account right there.
just look at it every once in a while and be like, yeah, that's
still there. Okay.
Still there. But with the other 75 million, let me go with that. I would definitely want to like invest in other people's dreams because you never know like who is out there that just needs money to help them become successful. And that's, I don't know, that's really the main goal behind my record label. Romera Records is meant to help propel somebody to that next level. So if I never had you on my listeners would never know about you, who are like, you know, from Alabama. Memphis people, yeah, they probably know you, but everybody from Alabama wouldn't know who you are. But now they know who you are. Like Bug Mega is a guy I bought a beat from, and I made a song with him.
Nice.
He's produced for like big name rappers and whatnot, but he follows you on Instagram.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And then, did you know Sage before the podcast?
No, because I followed him, or I started training with him because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like just me buying the equipment to start a podcast allows other people to start making connections.
You're
with
the
each other.
connector.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't mind. Like I've always said I would love to be a great coach, but I wouldn't care to be like the star player on a team, because I like being able to help people get to where they need to go.
Yeah.
I don't care about being in the limelight and being like the star of the show. I just want to help whoever get to where they want to get to. And I can say, oh, that was cool, I helped you do that. But, you know, I don't need all the praise and everything. But, so that's one thing I would really like to do, is just be able to, even with my record label, like bring some musicians in and help them get signed to a major label. If that's what they want to do, that's what I would like to help them do. I don't want to, like, you know, make people sign a contract and like, now you owe me all this money. No, like I want to help people like get their money and then get to where they want to go. Cause I don't really care to make money off of people. I would rather help put money in other people's pockets.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But honestly, that's probably what I would do with a majority of, if I got like a large sum of money, is just start finding ways that I can like help other people like just grow into
Let me know when you
something
start that, because I got some great ideas. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
like I got some good ideas.
And plus, that's just like that's stuff for you to do. Like if people who have money and say that they're bored, just don't talk to enough people.
True.
I mean, that's got to be it, because if you just start talking to people, you'll find something to do with that money.
Yeah.
For sure. And I don't know. I think and that's why I like doing the podcast, because I get to learn about people, what they're doing and what they're trying to do, and I can start like helping them out. So like what I want to do later is like start going to stores and maybe get you sponsored by Cafe Electric. So
I go there all the time, guys. I go there all the time.
So it's just something that like I wouldn't have known about that restaurant if you hadn't been posting it. And it's a good restaurant. And there's also a place I want to go to as well. Is
Restaurant? We're talking about
I
restaurant.
think it's called G-Town Hub. At least I think that's their Instagram.
Okay.
Do you even know what it is?
Maybe.
So
I
we
know
can
there's
go-
a few names called the Hub or something like that.
Okay, so we can probably go to it for the first time. I think I actually saw Trey Stafford had posted it recently.
Okay.
But I saw it like a long time ago when I think I was just on Instagram on the search, just like searching like. Might have searched like Memphis or Germantown or something. Okay. And it had popped up. But they have like, I think what they're trying to sell to people is like healthy smoothies or something like that. I know they have like ice cream and some other stuff, but I think it's supposed to be like a healthier version of a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So it looks really good. Like all their stuff looks amazing. So we'll have to check that out as well.
Yay!
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do with my stuff.
That is so cool. The connector. As you were talking, you said you would love, to be the coach, but you would not care to stand behind and help be the, like I don't know all these terminologies, but be behind, and help the people and not be in the limelight.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they don't know where they need to stand. So I want to be a star, right? If you want to be a star, you got to put X, Y, and Z into it. Can I just already be a star? No, you can't.
Exactly.
And so some people want to be a star, but then some people actually would much rather be back here because they love to be the connector, or they love to give the ideas, or they love to do this and love to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think that was so cool, and for you to be honest in the fact of, I would love to, but I really do find a passion with this too. So I'm happy either way.
Yeah.
So I really hope whoever listens to this, they find that passion and be okay with themselves if they actually find themselves in this position.
Yeah.
Like helping out. So that was cool.
Yeah. Really, I think a lot of people struggle with their identity. Like I mean, especially nowadays with like people who they just basically have like all these different social media accounts. Like if you type in somebody famous,
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
I thought about The Office, with Dwight, and he's got a wig and an outfit for every person in the.
What? I don't remember that one.
You know? And so he was saying how, I can't remember in what episode this was, but he was pretending to be Pam because he was getting, Dwight was getting Jim with a snowball. And he dressed up as Pam.
Oh
and,
my God.
And Jim thought it was from behind. And so he threw a snowball at him. And Jim was like, oh my gosh, like I thought you were Pam. Do you have outfits for everybody? He said, yes, I do. And then it shows him in different segments.
Yo, I don't remember that one at all.
Sorry, that's what I thought of when
I'll have to look that one up.
people got so many different social media accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we think.
What kills me is like just seeing people with like nothing as their like profile picture, because I'm so big about Jackson Henderson.
Okay.
Like I love for people to know who Jackson Henderson is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually I was talking with my sister the other day, and I was just telling her about how like I've got the podcast or something. I was just telling her that just getting me out there or something like that, and she was like, that's gonna make you like vulnerable, like people are gonna know everything about you. And I was like, that's all part of the plan.
Yeah.
So I love for people to know everything about me, because I feel like that's when people know everything about you, they feel like they can connect with you more. It's kind of like that politician thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's when I can be honest with people, like I'm not hiding anything from anybody. Again, that's why I like the podcast being the longer format, is so that people can see my real thoughts. They can see, what I'm actually saying. So it doesn't seem like I'm just saying stuff just to say it and for it to sound good. Like this is who I really am.
This is not a script,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not, I didn't memorize lines or anything. I'm just speaking my mind.
Yeah.
And so being able to like the people who have all like the social media accounts and stuff like that, like being able to show people who you really are, I think drastically changes like how people view you. And oh man, I just have a rant all the time about people who just aren't real. You know what I mean? Like they're just fake, and you can obviously see it. And it hurts.
Yeah, but then they got the most followers, and they've got the X amount of money, and I think a part of us, I'm being real here. A part of me would love to just not be real. A part of me would love to give in because it's easy. It's easy to just show, nudity. It's easy to go along and riot, with whatever people are rioting about. It's easy to do that because everybody else is doing it.
Exactly.
But whenever it would just be a lot better and life would be smoother. But then again, it's like that's not me. Yeah, that's not me. It's like that's not my character. And like I love you guys, but this is how I want to communicate with the world. And for me, it is being vulnerable, and it may take a little longer to get where I'm going. That's okay. One thing Jada Smith said, and I love it. She talked about how if you go to bed at night and you did something that, compromised your integrity, then you shouldn't have done that because you're not being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's just like, I don't have TikTok because I don't want it, because I don't want to be a part of other things too. Not to say like it's anything wrong with it, but for me right now, I have no use of it. So why am I going to get on it just because so many other people have the account when I've got my Instagram and my Facebook doing just fine for me, you know? And so I don't feel comfortable with expanding myself because that's not a part of me, And so it's crazy how we have all these different digital personas, because even TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, like you've seen those memes going out, right, where it says, here's your LinkedIn, here's your Facebook, Instagram, here's your Tinder.
Yeah.
Why is Tinder in there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
Exactly.
I mean, it's a social media.
It's supposed to be linked
platform.
to your Facebook anyway.
I mean, like that should have been, I don't know, like Snapchat, TikTok, because those are other brand promotions that are being out there. I get that they're trying to be funny and it was cute, but then it's like, maybe that's another way that people are being authentic in the
Yeah.
sense of we all are sexual,
Yeah.
like we are human beings. And
Yeah.
so like, is that just your naughty side coming out too? Like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
that's kind of funny. But at the same time, like me thinking about it, like that's all of our digital personas. And
Yeah.
now like everyone is like coming out with that. But
Yeah.
it's like, I think that's what's driving us even more away, because now I've got to act like this on Snapchat, got to act like this on Facebook, on Instagram, and now you're left with your bare bones of who am I?
Exactly. Yeah.
Who am I?
That's one thing that I try to do on all my social media. Like, some people are like, so LinkedIn is supposed to be the professional one.
Yes.
I'm about to break down that whole meme.
Let's go.
So if you haven't seen the memes, so in the top left-hand corner, people will have like a LinkedIn. So that's going to be your professional side. And then your top right side is the Facebook. So that's going to be it's kind of fun, but hey, I'm not doing anything crazy. Instagram is like, this is the most perfect picture of me. Like, I look the best and I'm better than everybody else.
Food. For me, it's food.
And then the Tinder is like your sexy side. So that's just like how
Your wild side.
yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
supposed to be like the craziest side of you, and the one that you want people to be like, ooh, they're fun or whatever.
Yeah.
So personally, me myself, I try to be the same on all my stuff. So my LinkedIn, my Facebook, and my my Twitter as well, and then my Instagram. So, but I mean, there are obviously certain things that I will post on my Facebook that are different than my Twitter or my Instagram that are different from my LinkedIn and stuff like that. Because I mean, LinkedIn, yes, is for business. That's the whole purpose of it. And then Facebook is for like friends and stuff like that. Instagram is really for anything, like really. But my Twitter, I specifically started using it for sports. That's the only reason why I use it. That's the only people I follow. I follow like 100 and something accounts, and it's like sports writers and Alabama football fans and stuff like that. So that's pretty much all I use it for. My Instagram, I follow a lot of music people and like inspirational people. Like I follow Gary Vee. What's I do? The Real Tarzan. Okay, he used to post like some really cool animal stuff. And stuff like that. I used to follow like a bunch of pit bull pages and stuff like that, like animal stuff. But so yeah, that's my Instagram. My Instagram is more for like music and just like content. So I'll post like if I take like a really cool video or something like that, I'll post that. I posted that the New Year's video.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's my Instagram. And then Facebook is just kind of like whatever. Like I post cool thoughts, like inspirational type stuff. Like I might say something like whatever you plan on doing today, get it done. Something simple like that.
Yeah.
So that's my Facebook type of stuff. But some people literally are completely different.
Live for
people.
it.
And it's like they feel like that's the way you're supposed to be. That's just the energy I get from that. It's just some people feel like you are literally supposed to be a different human being from real life and each one of those different platforms.
Oh yeah, no, I was hanging out with some friends last year. I literally witnessed this, and I couldn't believe it from my own eyes. Like, so I really couldn't.
This is happening in front of me.
Yeah, what? So hanging out with a bunch of my friends, and some other girls come along. Like, all right, cool. And so I was being blunt, Amber. And I said hi. I know she heard me. And so I said, okay, I'm doing fine. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, no, it's cool. The whole time just looking at her phone. So then we were all playing music, like I don't like to hold grudges or anything like that. And I thought it was funny in the sense of playing music. And she posts, and she I don't know if she did Instagram or Snapchat. I don't know. She probably did both. And so she's doing some like sexy dances, and then other people join in. It's like, oh yeah, cool. And then after she posts, she sits down and does nothing for the rest of the night. And I'm looking at my friend like, did you just see this? Yes.
Wow.
What is she doing? And she just sits there, and I couldn't believe it. I mean. we're talking about it in the sense of, this is our digital persona. Like, people feel like they've got to be it. I've never witnessed it until that moment.
Yeah.
You know, I see people on their phones looking at it all the time, but that's looking and, you know, maybe even doing some simple posting. But this was literally living it in the sense of, I've got to look and act like this for this channel. Now I'm about to sit down and post it, maybe read some more. And I'm sure she enjoyed her night after she left the place, after she got done posting. But it just made me feel sad in the sense of, wow, you're around new people. You could be interacting with. And I get posting. I'm not against it because obviously many people make money off of it. So there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just a sense of, it's literally taking your whole being, your whole personality, your whole interaction with being a human with someone else, that whole connecting away just because you want to continually be on your phone. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's sad. As you said, it's sad because people, as I said, people just, I don't know, they just don't know how to be themselves. They feel like they have to put on a front in front of people, and I'm not that way. I do act differently
around certain people.
Around certain people because it just makes sense. Like, you know, if you're around your boss, you shouldn't talk the same way you do around like your best friends or whatever. You can say, you know, some of the similar things. You can still be you.
There's a boundary though.
Yeah, but there's certain words you might not want to say, or there's a certain way you might not talk. Like, a lot of people I work with are older than me, so like I don't use certain words because they're just literally not going to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So there's that, but then there's also like, you know, some people say they say like, gosh, what is the videos? There's these videos that, is it Cut? No, it's not Cut. Shoot, I can't think of the name of it. But so it's a YouTube channel, and they have like videos where people are supposed to like stand on lines.
Okay.
And it's like, you either like somewhat agree or
I know what you're talking,
about.
Yes, and it's a big study, and they'll ask different like questions, and it's a huge room.
Yes. I cannot think of the name of it.
I can't think of it either, but I know what you're talking about. Ooh, they get real.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So one of them was it was black people. It was all black people, and they were asking them. I don't know if it was like, do you act the same around like everybody? I don't remember what the question was, but I know that became the topic.
Yeah.
Because one of the guys was like, everybody knows all black people got a white people voice and a black people voice. And I was dying. And one of the guys was like, I think that's wrong because you shouldn't change who you are just to like please white people or something like that. Yeah. And he was like, that's not what I'm saying. He was like, I have to talk a certain way around certain people just because that's just, you know, they're going to naturally understand like what I'm saying and stuff like that. You can't talk the same way around everybody. That doesn't mean you're changing who you are. You're still you, but you're just socially aware. I guess that's the best way to phrase it. You're socially aware of who you're around. So, I mean, you know, if you're around a ton of people who are not speaking the same language as you start like using your hands and like, I need to go. You're changing the way you talk because you're socially aware of who you're around.
Yes.
So, it's pretty much the same concept.
Yeah, no, I agree in the sense, in everything. It's because I'm not going to talk the same way with my boss because we are in a work setting, and to me, you know, like we'll joke around a little bit, but other than that, like, we're at work, you know? Yeah. And then it makes me think of a sermon I listened to. It's called Too Many Friends. And he talked about how we've got 3 different categories. You got your fans, your followers, and then you got your friends. And so your fans are like your camaraderie. You know, they love you from a distance. You know, they love what you're doing. But that's, a lot of us fall into this category of telling everybody, or not everybody, all of our fans our secrets. Mm-hmm. And then our fans leave because the next person is doing it better, or they like this next person that comes along. And then, you know, things just like start to get, you know, misarray because now we're like, we trusted somebody that was actually a fan. And then we've got our followers where it's like they help you get to the next level, and then they go on about their way. And then you got your diehard friends that are just always going to be there. And so we all are in a category even like so like I have fans, I've got followers, and I've got friends, but I am a category into each person as well in their own eyes, in the sense of, because I'm not going to go to a fan if I know I've got my best friends to go tell all my secrets to. So I'm going to talk to my best friends differently when it comes to personal matters or even joking matters than with the fan, because I know that they're just a fan and I love them. But I mean, if they've got other best friends, why are they going to tell me personal stuff too? You know, like it shouldn't. I mean, they can, but we've all got these different categories, you know, of who our friends and our followers and our fans are. And it was just interesting in the sense of, yeah, like I'm not about to go to a fan or a follower if I'm going to go to my best friend. Or if I need a connector, you know, I'm going to go to a follower to help me get to that next level, you know. Or I need a boost real quick. Girl, hype me up, you know, let me go to my fan. And so it's just interesting, yeah, because every one of these categories have different ways we're going to talk to them. And it's not, I don't think we should change our voice. Sometimes we get excited or sometimes we're imitating, yeah, but we shouldn't change who we are, just maybe just how we're changing our syntax around the person. Yeah, like you go to work, you have older men, I'm going to use different terminology, you know, to help still keep our good friendship or our good work relationship there. Yeah, so I get it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even, so my friend DeAndre, he's from Louisiana, and he'll make fun of certain things I say, and then I'll make fun of way he says stuff because he's got that like deep Louisiana accent. But it's just funny listening to other people talk and like how they react around different people and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just identity is just the key thing of this whole like, you know, topic is people just need to find it.
Yeah, and not get offended too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, for sure. So I actually wanted to ask you about what do you have coming up next?
What do I have coming up next? That's a great question. Yeah. Well, I've been recently just helping out a good friend of mine. He graduated, He got a certificate with Unbeatable Mind, and so it's a program started from a former Navy SEAL commander, Mark Devine, and great. I actually got to meet him, so it was really cool. Nice. Anyways, and so I've been helping him with his website and marketing things. So that's been really nice having that. And I right now, I'm just going to continue on doing that. What I want to do for myself is being able to really start to get this motivational speech and public speaking actually going and like structuring a business with it. Because I want to be able to go and do that. And I want to be able to travel.
How are you doing it?
How am I doing it? Just like I've always been doing it, following people, and if they need workshops. And okay, if we're going back to putting in the man hours, right? I've got to do a lot of things for free for the time being until I can actually build up a good quote unquote clientele list of and events that I've been speaking at.
To stop you right quick.
What's up?
Everybody who's listening, work for free. You don't understand how much that means to the people that you do work for, because you're putting that free work in. And if you're good at it, they're going to recognize, and then they're probably going to tell other people about it.
Yep.
If you suck at it, guess what? You deserve to be working for free.
Yep. So we're winning, right?
Yeah. So, all right, continue.
No, like that's a good point. Exactly. All of that. You can't just expect to, yes, this is what I want to do. You should pay me X amount. You hadn't even tried it, you know, you hadn't tested the waters or anything like that. And there's so many, I feel like I'm involved so much, even just from that last speech. Like I told you, I did it one time in Memphis. And then as I was on the plane, I got all my books spread out. And now here I am adding and taking away. And then I created longer. So you're constantly evolving. And the more that you actually can go and give free speeches, then the better that you can understand what groups of audiences that you like to talk to.
You're going to get those reps in. You're going to get a lot more practice, because people are like, oh, shoot, Amber charges $600 to speak. We don't have that in our budget. Oh, Amber's free? Let's bring her on this week. Let's bring her on next week.
We got her in. Yes, we got her in. We can fit her in. And yeah, I've been able to speak at some school events. So that's been great here in Memphis, out in California. So that's what I want to do. Follow a bunch of other different organizations in different states to be able to go fly out there again and speak for free until I can start to structure and get this business really going. Because that's what I want to do. It's funny. My friend, she always likes to tell me how she listens to different motivational speakers too, and she says one day I'm gonna be listening to you. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's my best friend. That's not my follower. That's not my fan. That's my best friend. You know. And that just makes me so happy. It's like, okay, so whatever season anybody is going through, there are things that you need to be learning to help get you. So I've been going through a hard season, and I just been thinking in the sense of, okay, I've gotten over this hump, and this is going to help motivate someone else later in the future. So it's just in that holding pattern, man, that holding pattern, being consistent with it, even writing it down. And that's been challenging, because then that's just another way of being vulnerable.
Do you write your goals?
Yeah.
I don't do that at all.
You don't?
No.
I've got a vision board on my phone.
Really?
Yes. And so it actually, I know I've been talking a lot about spiritual things, but I'm not really a religious person, but I do love my prayer life. I don't go to a specific church. Anyway, so there is a verse in the Bible that talks, I think it's in Habakkuk. I think it's like Habakkuk 2:2. And it says write down your goals, and this next verse actually may be somewhere else, but this verse says, if where there's no vision, the people perish. That says a lot right there. Yeah. So write down your goals. That's in Habakkuk 2:2. And then it's so important for your vision to be known. Yeah. And it also talks about once you write down your goals, so as you're running, you can see it. So that indicates the fact of you've got to put action into your plan. So because other people are going to come along, and is your goal, your vision so clear to the point that the people that are running with you, like being the connector, I want to help this person go do this and go do that. Well, you know that this is their goal because they told you. So now you're running with them. So is your goal, your vision so clear that the people that are going to be helping you, they can literally look at your vision board and know what you want to do? Very specific. Yeah. So I write down my goals. I write down all of my goals, no matter how small or how big they are, because there's something powerful about the spoken word. So as soon as it's out there, now everything, the universe, call it what you want, is going to help align you to it. Yeah. And adversity is going to come with it. So you just gotta be prepared. Now you also gotta be prepared what you pray about and what you write down, because if it's a big goal, well, then you're gonna go through some shit to get you to that part. So I absolutely write down all of my goals, and I've got a vision board on my phone to remind me every day. Actually, every 10 seconds I look at my phone, like, should I have bought that whole cafe eclectic place? Should I have done that for my goal? It's a powerful thing.
That's pretty neat. Okay. So you want to be a speaker with people. Have you ever, I don't want to say that you did, but you didn't. Have you been to a Tony Robbins before?
I have.
Okay.
I have, yes.
I was like, I feel like she's been to one. He
hugged me.
Okay, that's right.
He hugged me. He hugged me. Thanks, Tony. And so, okay, this is what happened. I wasn't supposed to have been there. And the only reason why I was there is because I went out to California following my dreams, and I met a person. I'm trying to be real, And I met a person, and we still talked for a few years, and we still connected. And he had a client that was actually a part of Tony Robbins' speaking event. Oh, wow. So he had me come up so he can hang out with me and so he can see me. Dang. So, yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, I wasn't supposed to be there, but it was so kind of him to do that for me. And so I was able to go backstage. Now, no one could go because Gary Vaynerchuk was there too. Really? Yes. And so I got photos and some videos of him. He didn't. I would have loved a hug too, but that didn't happen. But for Tony and Gary, everybody that was backstage could not be back there, but just high security clearance. Wow. But other speakers were there, and it was so cool. And yeah, I remember it was so funny, Jackson, because my friend's client, and they're also good friends too. He was like, okay, Amber, the client, his name is Joseph. Hella cool. He's like, all right, Amber, I've got my friend here. I need you to go and like secure seats. I got you. That's what I said. And so I walked around. I felt like I owned that place. I was walking up to every security person. I said, and I knew some of them too, because of the car ride over. I was like, hey, Daniel, hey, Mark, I need XYZ. And they're like, all right, we're going to direct you over here. I'm like, cool. Hey, ma'am, security, I need XYZ. Okay. And so
that's awesome.
it felt so cool. And so I was able to help out with that. And so Tony comes on. It was amazing. And he was I was sitting in the front row, and he was doing different examples of just what we were all interacting together during different skits, I guess you can call it. And so I remember after he got done with the first skit, I remember looking at him, and I said, in my mind, just staring at him, you're going to use me in an example. I don't know how, but you're going to use me.
I'm going to do it.
And so then, like, he kept going through the skits and the very last skit. And so we're all standing up, like the blood's flowing. And he comes down and he said, all right, for this next exercise, I want you to go up to this person and act like they're the love of your life and you've known them for a very long time and blah, blah, blah. But he's like, this is how I want you to do it. And he stops, turns, looks in my direction, starts running towards me, and my friend said, all I did was this.
Yo!
Come here.
Oh,
he picked me up and spun me around, and my friend was able to get a few pictures. Like, that was the best thing ever. Oh my gosh, I'm a Tony Robbins, just cuter and really small. Like, really small. And so, yeah. And then they did another show in Atlanta with all of the speakers, and they did an advertising, and I was part of the clip for the advertising.
Oh, nice!
And so they got me like clapping my hands like this, and it was super cool.
That's awesome.
I freaking loved it.
That's wild. But yeah, I'd ask you that because I was curious on who you've been able to talk to that you, I guess, like idolize or stuff like that. Because that's a neat experience for people. So if you're a musician, being able to speak to somebody who you idolize as far as like in your industry, not everybody gets to do that. So that's awesome that you got to.
I got a hug.
Yeah,
and I got the transfer of energy like that.
Exactly, yeah.
I would love to sit down and have a conversation with Tony, with Gary Vee. I honestly love Will and Jada Smith. I would freaking love that. Okay. They do a lot of great motivational things. I've been listening to Terry Crews a little bit, so I would love to sit down and his story.
Didn't know that he did stuff.
Yeah,
like
he did like a few speeches, and I think it was at an award show or something. But it was really inspiring. It's like and just to hear his story too. I would love to meet The Rock because I love his story and his background and how he just kept going. And so one of my favorite lines from him is he said, I've got this wall up against my back and I've got to push forward, here's the hard spot, but it's going to stay there, but I got to keep going. Yeah. And so I would love to sit down and have conversations like that. So I got to meet Mark Devine, part of that Unbeatable Mind, the former Navy SEAL commander, and I got to talk to him a little bit, got to speak to his wife, and so I even asked her about identity stuff in the sense of I am masculine with my personality and a few things. I do love to work out, and I do love to do a few things that probably is not deemed like a woman trait, Yeah. And so like archery and fighting and stuff like that, like training and that stuff. And so I asked her, I said, I am dominant in my personality, and it seems like to me you are too. And how do you handle that? Like, how do you manage it? And she said, it's like the yin and the yang. We've got a little bit of both. And she's like, yeah, I'm feminine and I'm a woman. And so when my masculine trait is coming out, I ask it, to be kind to my other side and vice versa. And I've never thought of it in that sense, because if I'm taking, my big old like arts away from myself, my big masculine traits, or not speaking like how I would want to, I'm taking a huge chunk of myself away. And that's not fair to me. That's not fair to anybody else, because then my purpose on this earth is obviously the skill that I have. So then I'm not helping anybody. So it's like, okay, that was really cool. So it's like, how can I start inviting my identity in? So I got to meet her, the wife of a former Navy SEAL commander. That was cool. And just like part of my idol right there with him, that was having that conversation. That was neat. Yeah. And so, like being a leader in that sense. That's great. It's huge responsibility. I've got a lot of work to do, but yeah, I would love to have sit down conversations like that all over again.
Are there any like specific goals that you plan on meeting that you like to share about, I guess, just like short-term goals, nothing like huge, just like short-term goals, like within next month I want to do this or something like that?
Well, within okay, so I guess like not really. Not man, that's actually a good question because a lot of mine is just like this is my end
They're
goal.
big goals.
Yeah, they are big goals, but I've got to bite it down smaller, or like chunk it down, to where I can actually like bite it instead of, like what's that terminology, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So man, so I think for me and my next step is actually to form the business for that motivational speaking.
Okay.
And once I do that within the next month, then I want to be able to actually reach out to different influencers or Instagram people that I follow or even businesses here and start asking if I can come speak for free or reaching out to schools like that. I think that would be the best one.
Yeah. We could try that today. Maybe like see if we can get like commercials in.
That's right. Tell them what we might do. I'm real excited.
Yeah. So there's G-Town Hub I'd like to go to today. We could check out Cafe Electric, and I actually called, what is the name? Margie's 901. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of We Are 901 or 901 Memphis or
this
901.
Is Margie's. It's an ice cream / like cupcake / I don't know. They have a ton of stuff.
Where is it at?
It is
located, yeah.
Okay, so what's that like? The very center of, is that Midtown?
I'm about to say, that sounds like Midtown. Talking about Overton Square?
It's not Overton Square.
Cooper Young?
This is next to, so where Bill Street is?
Yes.
And like where the train goes through?
Central Station?
Okay, so it's that area where like everybody can just like walk down the street and whatnot. There's like a ton of restaurants right there. There's like Huey's.
South Main?
I guess that's
you're talking about Main Street in general. Yeah.
So it's like right there. It's called Margie's 901. And they do like ice cream and cupcakes, cakes, stuff like that. I called them. I called the owner and I told her I wanted to do like pictures and stuff like that. She told me to email her, send her like any of my work that I've already done. And she hasn't contacted me back. But I was like, man, I really just wanted you to say, yeah, meet me Saturday or something like that. And come in. But she didn't. So we could just pop in.
That's
you
what
haven't
I do.
replied yet, so I'm gonna pop in.
That's what I would say. I haven't received an email back from you. I'm here in town.
Yeah.
Hi.
Honestly, I told her I was like, I work for free. Like I straight up told her. She was like, yeah, we can see what kind of work we can do. I'll take a look at your stuff. And I was like, I'm working for free. Like I'm telling you this. Yeah. So what is the issue with just telling me?
What's the problem?
Just tell me to come by and then start doing stuff. Because I'm telling you, I'll just do it. I'll just stop in, take some pictures, take some video, and then I'll give it back to you. Yeah,
we're golden.
So, but anyways, that's what I like to do today is for us to just go to random spots and then we can buy like something or anything and then just like show us eating the food or whatever. And I thought that'd be cool as far as like, giving that company some material.
Yeah.
And by the way, so
say it.
Have you been to Stack's?
No, I have not.
It's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
It's really good. But,
I've heard like good and bad things.
Yeah, I had Louise on and I was asking. She said something about Stack's. She was talking about like a recording studio, I think, or like
the Stack's Museum.
Actually, I think she was talking about like an academy. Like a Stack's Academy for like music or something.
Okay.
Like that. I thought she was talking about the restaurant.
Two different pages.
I was like, oh, I was just there, and I was like, wait a minute, you're not talking about the pancake place.
There were some pancakes, and it was great.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, Stack's was pretty good, but yeah, I gave them my card and stuff, but no contact. That's what kills me is when I tell people I want to do stuff with them, but I get no reply.
Well, we're in a fast-paced society too, so it's like they're busy.
Yeah, true. They are busy, but at the same time, like
I'm doing it for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so surely that should stand out, but
Yeah.
you just gotta be consistent.
There's so many people that I want to like just start knocking them out. Just like start, giving people my cards, calling the companies and stuff like that. So I went on a spree of asking, is it Rhodes? Is that the name of the university that's in Memphis area?
Well, we've got the private college, Rhodes College, and then the University of Memphis. So that's U of M.
It's Rhodes.
Okay.
So I found their website
Okay.
and then found like their faculty page and started emailing all of their like professors to get them on the podcast. 0 replies.
Just so you know, again, this is hard work just for free stuff. Free
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
So I was like, dang, that sucks. Because that'd been awesome to have like a bunch of like professors. So they're experts in what they're doing. And I can just, talk to them about whatever. And so that'd be, free information for everybody to listen to. But yeah, that didn't turn out
Show
well.
up.
Yeah.
Just show up.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I thought about doing. Just
I've
show up
done
to
that
the school.
so many times with so many other different businesses just for, for work. And it's amazing what you can do with a smile.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
being genuine and you're actually there, not bullshitting anybody. Like I'm here because I feel like it can help benefit you. And then of course it can help benefit us. But most
Exactly.
importantly, we're creating a business to business type of promotion. Like this is like me with the marketing side with this business, right?
Yeah.
We're creating this type of promotion and going on. Would love for you to be a part of it. And a lot of it, and sometimes I would email, but a lot of the times I would just show up because we can set up something later, but I just kind of want to know yes or no so I can,
Yeah.
continue on. And it's nothing mean or rude as long as you don't come across like that.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
like just show up. I do that all the time. I just popped up. Like,
Don't have to. I actually contacted the guy who owns this G-Town hub or whatever. And he said, I think I asked him for a podcast. I don't think I asked him for like pictures or video to do that for him. I think I asked him. And he said, yeah. And then I think he just asked me for a time.
Okay.
Like a date and time, and I messaged him again, but he didn't respond back. He might not have seen it because I don't follow him and he doesn't follow me, so it's kind of like that weird like request.
oh yeah, like it's in
do you
another
call it?
section.
Yeah.
Yes,
What is
yeah,
it
with
called?
Instagram.
Like a limbo. It's like the request limbo.
Yeah. No,
Where
I
it's
talking
just
about.
kind of floating out there.
Yeah.
So he might not have even seen it. So yeah, we can just stop by there or something. But yeah, you got anything else?
No, I don't. We did a lot today.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did. It was good.
I said that's what I like about doing long podcasts.
Yeah, it was
Just get everything out the
great.
way,
I
so.
think a lot of the viewers got a ton of information.
Yeah, for
Take
sure.
notes. Take notes. We're having a quiz next time, all right?
For sure.
Just kidding.
But yeah, so thank for everybody listening to the podcast.
Yes.
And stay tuned for next time.
Bye, guys.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to the podcast. And if you would, hit the subscribe button. The subscribe button allows you to, subscribe to the podcast. And if you give me a like and give me a comment, that would help out as well. Commenting allows you to have a conversation with me, and liking it allows me to know that you actually like it. And if you dislike it, hit the dislike button twice. That's a real help out for me. So, comment, like, subscribe, and let's keep it rolling.